Welcome to all students. Myself, Om Prakash Kodara, Assistant Professor, Principal of Seed Technology, Department Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jyoti Vidyapit, Women University, Jaipur. Today we discuss about our topic seed certifications. It is a legally sanctioned system for quality control and seed multiplications and productions. It involves field inspections, pre and post control test, and seed quality test. Purpose of seed certifications to maintain and make available to the farmers. Through certifications, high quality seed and propagating materials of notified family and varieties. The seed are so grown to ensure genetic identity and genetic purity. Eligibility for certifications of crop varieties, seed of only those varieties which are notified under sections 5 of the Seed Act 1966 shall be eligible for certifications. Breeder seed is exempted from certifications, foundations, and certified class seed come under certifications. Breeder seed is produced by the plant breeders, which is inspected by a monitoring team consisting of the breeder representative of seed certifications agency DDA, representative of national seed corporations, deputy managers, and nominee of crop coordinators. The crop shall be inspected at appropriate stages. Pages of seed certifications or seed certification processes mainly receipt and scrutiny of applications, verification of seed source. Field inspections after that post harvesting supervisions of seed crops, seed sampling and testing, labeling, tagging, sealing, and grant of certificates, receipt and scrutiny of applications, mainly applications of registrations. Any persons who want to produce the certified sheets shall register his names with the concerned assistant directors of seed certifications by remitting rate purchase 25 per crop per seasons. There are three seasons under certifications which Kharif, June, September, and Rabi, October to January, and summer, February to May. The applicants shall submit two copies of the applications to the ADSC 10 days before the commencement of the seasons, or at least at the time of the registration of the sowing reports. On receipt of the applications, the ADSC will verify the time limits, variety eligibility, and its source, the class maintenance and remittance of fee etc. The application, if accepted, will be given an applications number. Example, PEDI dated 1/5/2021, where PEDI refers to the crop to be registered, K the seasons, and 01 the application numbers, and 56 the financial years. The original applications is returns and the duplicates is returned to the applicants. Sowing reports application for the registration of the seed farms. Procedure. The seed producers who wants to produce the certified seeds shall apply to the ADSC in the prescribed sowing reports from the quadri applicates with prescribed certifications fees along with other documents such as they to establish the seed sorts. Mainly classes of seed and source of seed, foundation class, breeder seeds, and certified class foundation seeds. Class stage, foundation class stage second, foundation class stage first, and certified class stage second, certified class stage first. तो मेनली जो सोर्स होता है वो मेनली फाउंडेशन शीट का जो सोर्स होता है वो आपको शीट होता है सर्टिफाइड क्लासेस का फाउंडेशन शीट जो सोर्स होता है एंड फाउंडेशन क्लास स्टेज सेकंड का जो सोर्स होता है फाउंडेशन क्लास स्टेज फर्स्ट एंड क्लास सर्टिफाइड क्लास स्टेज सेकंड का जो फाउंडेशन सोर्स है वो सर्टिफाइड क्लास स्टेज फर्स्ट. Separate sowing reports are required for different crop varieties, different classes, different stage, and if the seed farm field are separated by more than 50 meters. Separate sowing reports are also required if sowing or planting dates differ by more than 7 days and if the seed farm area exceeds 25 hectares. hectare. The sowing report shall reach the concerned ADSC within 35 days from the date of sowing or 15 days before flowering. Whichever is earlier in the case of transplanted crops, the sowing report shall be sent to 15 days before flowering. The procedure shall clearly indicates on the reverse of sowing reports the exact locations of the seed farms in a rough sketch with directions, distance, marked from a permanent mark like milestone, building, bridge, road, name of the farm, if any. Probe govern all four sides of the seed farm etc. To facilitate easy identifications of the seed farm by the seed certifications officers. The IDSC on receipt on of the following reports scrutinize register the seeds farm by giving ASC number of for his sowing reports. Then he will send one copy of the sowing reports to the SC officer, one to the EDSC, and third the procedure after returning the fourth copy. Verifications of seed source. During the his first inspections of seed farms, the SC officers will verify whether the seed used to raise the seed crop is from an approved source. Field inspections objective. The objective is conducting field inspections is to verify the factor which can cause irreversible damage to the genetic purity or seed health. Inspections authority. The seed certifications officer authorized by the registering authority shall attend the field inspections. Probe stage for inspections. The number of field inspections and stage of probe growth at which the field inspections should be conducted vary from crop to crop. It depends upon duration and nature of pollination of the seed crops. If the crop is grown for hybrid seed productions, the number of field inspections during flowering stage should be more than in the case of self-pollinated or cross-pollinated or often cross-pollinated varieties. In hybrid seed productions and variety seed productions of cross-pollinated crops, the inspection during flowering should be made without any prior notice. The seed grower to judge the quality of operations undertaken by him to maintain the genetic purity of the crops. But in the case of self-pollinated crops, the seed grower may be informed about the date of inspections. In the former case, if prior notice is given to the seed grower, it may not be possible to detect the damage by the contaminations. Whereas in the latter case, prior notice will be led to the improvement of quality of the seed productions work and thus the quality of the seeds. Key points to be observed at each stage of inspections are stage of crops, verification of seed source, confirmations of APS given in the reports, land requirements to keep check on genetic as well as physical contaminations and spread of disease problems. Planting ratio, border row, isolation distance. Guide the grower in identification of types, pollen, shader, disease plants, shedding, tassels, etc. It's all key points observed in pre-flowering stage, vegetative stage. After that, flowering stage may be second, third inspections when 50% of the plant begin to flower. Confirm the observation of plant inspections were correct. Confirm whether grower had continued grow rowing after the previous inspections. Verify removal and occurrence of types, pollen shedding tassels, objections to weed plants, disease plants, etc. Third inspection during post-flowering and pre-harvest stage confirm the correctness of observations made in earlier inspections. Guide the growers on rocking based on pots, spearhead, seed, and job characters such as color, shape, and size. Explain to the grower when how to harvest the crops and process. Fourth, inspection during harvest. This is the last inspections conducted on seed crops. Verify that male parents row have been harvested separately. Ensure complete removal of type plants, other crops, weeds, and disease plants, etc. Seal properly by the certification agency of the threshed produced after initial leaning and drying. Instructions the seed growers for safe storage and transportations. Minimum number of field inspections required for different crop for the certifications. Crops, paddy and wheat. Minimum number of seed inspections to stage of crop flowering to harvest. Sorghum hybrid, minimum number of inspections for first before flowering, second and third during flowering, fourth prior to harvest. Varieties, minimum number of inspections three, first before flowering, second during flowering, and third prior to the harvest. In maize, inbred line, single process, other hybrids, number of inspections for first before flowering, rest during flowering. In varieties, two inspections, first before flowering, second during flowering, Bajra hybrids. Only four inspections, first before flowering, second and third during flowering, fourth prior to the during harvest. In varieties, third inspections, first before flowering, second during 50% flowering, third prior to harvest. Green gram, black grams, red grams, cowpea. In this crop, two inspections, first before flowering, second at flowering and fruiting stage. Groundnut, two inspections, flowering to harvest. Sesame, mainly third instructions, first before flowering, second during flowering, third from fruit major to harvest. Sunflower, two instructions, flowering to harvest. Grape and mustards, third instructions, first before flowering, second from flowering to fruiting, third from fruit major to harvest. Soybean crop, two instructions, flowering to harvest. Castor, two instructions, flowering to harvest. Cotton varieties and hybrids. In varieties, two instructions flowering to harvest, but in hybrids, four instructions, first before flowering, second and third during the flowering, fourth during harvest. Brinjal, tomato, chili, bindi crops, third instructions, first before flowering, second from flowering to fruiting, third during maturity. Carrot, third, three instructions, first early 20 to 30 days after sowing, second when lifted and replanted, third during flowering. In cabbage crop, three instructions. First, before marketable stage. Second, when the head have formed. Third, during flowering. Cauliflowers, four instructions. First, before marketable stage. Second, during cud formations. Third, when most plants have formed cuds. After that, fourth, during flowering. Onion, seed to seed. Third, three instructions. First, during early vegetative stage. Second, during bulb formation. Third, during flowering stage. Field count, the purpose of field inspections is to find out field standard of various vectors in the seed farms. It is impossible to examine all the plants in the seed farms. Hence, to assess the field standards of various vectors, random counting is followed. The number of count taken and the methods employed in taking counts vary from crop to crop. It is necessary to take a minimum of 5 counts up to 5 records and an additional count of very 5 acre or part thereof is different. Area of the fields in acre up to 5, number of count to be taken is 5. Area of the fields in acre 6 to 10, number of counts to be taken 6. Area of the fields 11 to 15, number of count to be 7. Area of field in acres 16 to 20, number of counts 8. Area of fields in 21 to 25, number of counts taken 9. It is. So double counts in any instructions if the first set of counts so that the seed crops does not conform to the prescribed standard for any factor. A second set of counts should be taken for the factors. However, when the first set of counts show a factor more than twice the maximum permitted, it is not necessary to take a second count. On completions of double counts, assess the average for the 2 counts. It should not exceed the minimum permissible limits. Number of plants for accounts, mainly crop, soybean, jute, lucerne, mesta, persimmons. Number of plants per head per counts, 1000 plants. I remark closely planted crops. In beans, cluster beans, cowpea, peas, green gram, black gram, mustard, Niger, sesame, Bengal gram, safflowers, number of plants per head per count, 500 plants, medium space crop. Bindi, brinjal, chili, castor, cole crops, cotton, coca beets, maize, potato, groundnuts, red grams, tomato, sunflower, etc. Per counts, per heads, 100 plants, white space crop. Badra, barley, oats, paddy, wheat, ragi, sorghums, 1000 heads, tillering crops. The point to be observed before countings, all plant falling in each count must be examined for each effector. In a hybrid sheet field, the prescribed number of the fields count should be taken in each present separately. Source of contaminations or factor to be observed. The contaminations are physical contaminations, general contaminations. Physical contaminations are inseparable other crop plants, objectionable weeds, plants, and disease plants. Genetically, contaminations consist of types, pollen shedders, and shedding tassels. Of type plant, they differ in morphological characters from the rest of the populations of the crop variety. Of type may be belong to same species or different species of a given variety. Plant of a different variety are also included under of types. Volunteer plants and mutants are also of types. Volunteer plants are the plants of the same kind growing naturally from the seed that remains in the fields from a various crops. Pollen shedders in hybrid seed productions involving male sterility. The plants of D lines present A lines are called pollen shedders. Sometimes A lines tends to exhibit symptoms of fertile anthers in ear heads of either on the main tillers or side tillers, and these are called partials. These partials are also counted as pollen shedders. Shedding tassels. These are plants which say to shedding pollen in female parents root when 5 centimeter or more of the entire spikes. See pollens, they are also counted as shedding tassels. In several crop plants, these are crop plants differ different crops which have seeds similar to the seed crops. In wheat, barley, oats, gram, triticals, barley, oat, grams, wheat, and triticals. In oat, barley, grams, wheat, and triticals. In triticals, wheat, barley, oats, and gram rice. Objection wheat plants, these are wheats whose seeds are difficult to separate ones with seeds which are poisonous, which have something effect on the main crops, which are difficult to eradicate once established, difficult to separate the seeds. These seeds are pose mechanical admixture. So mainly seed certification agency mainly different procedure to produce crop. Mainly different officers mark on different instructions in the crop, and after that your crop harvested and everything by certified agency.